Good morning, Knox County artists, and welcome to art class. I'm Miss Miller. I teach over at Pleasant Ridge Elementary School. Today, I'm going to be showing you how to create a new species of fish. Some of the things we're going to be thinking about for this art project are details and backgrounds. Details are the small little things that you add to a drawing to make it more interesting. Like if you're drawing a face, you might draw hair, eyes, freckles, glasses, hats, earrings. Those all kind of count as details. They're small things that make your artwork more interesting. The second thing we're going to be thinking about is a background. A background is the part of your picture that is behind you. So I have a light bulb in my background, some boxes, and what is that? A painting? Yeah. Those are all things that are in my background. They are behind me. So I said we're going to be making a fish, a new species of fish. Here I have my shoefish. What's a shoefish? I promised to tell you. Some of the details I added were teeth, gills, lines in its fin. In my background, I have water behind my fishy. I have sand that is behind my fishy. And I've even added details to my background, like bubbles, some other little goldfish. What is that, a jellyfish? A clam, a starfish, some seaweed. Those are all details that are in my background. All right, let's think about this. Okay, so for this project, you're going to need a few different things. You're going to need a piece of paper. Any color will do. I like to use white because then my colors show up better, but it can be any color you want. We're going to need a pencil. And finally, and this is the most fun part, we're going to need a shoe. Now, how in the world am I going to turn this into a fish? Well, I told you it was a shoe fish, and I'm going to show you how to do it. Let's get started. All right, so I have here my piece of paper and my pencil, and we're going to go ahead and start on our shoe fish. The first thing we're going to do is draw the body of the fish, and that's where your shoe comes in. Now, I have a big old honking foot, so my fish takes up a lot of the paper. Yours is probably going to be, I would imagine, a little bit smaller, so you'll have more room for your background and details, but, you know, it's still going to be great. First thing I do is I put my shoe onto my piece of paper. I'm going to give you like 10 seconds to take off your shoe, if you're wearing one, and put it on your paper. All right, so we got our shoe on our paper. The first thing we're going to do is take our pencil and we're going to trace around our shoe. I go pretty slowly when I'm doing this because it's easy to mess up and make it lumpy and bumpy. But even if that happens and your fish gets a few weird bumps, that just means it's more interesting. Oops, see, I gave my fish a weird bump. I go around my fish a couple of times just to make sure I got every part traced. All right. Ta-da! Here's the body of my fish. Now we're going to start adding some of those things we talked about, details. For me, I usually like to start with my fish's eye. Your fish eye can be whatever shape you want. I went with a circle. But yours could be a square, a triangle, a rectangle, an oval. Maybe his other eye is a square. He looks a little crazy, doesn't he? All right, so my fishy has eyes. I'm going to give it a mouth. I'm going to turn this part into its mouth down here. My fish is not super sure what's going on. You can do your mouth with any kind of line you want. A straight line, a curvy line, a zigzag line. Any of those will do. You can even add teeth to your fish if you want. My fish eats plants, so I'm giving it nice curvy teeth. All right. Now, the next set of details I'm going to add are my fishy's fins. That's how a fish swims through the water, is using its fins. It's got a pectoral fin. Those are fins that are on its side. It's got two of those, so if you want to add two, feel free. It's got a dorsal fin. That's going to be the fin that's on its back. That kind of acts like the sail on a sailboat and helps it stay upright. Adding more of those details to my pectoral fin. And then it's got a tail fin, which is how it gets through the water. I'm going to give mine kind of a, ooh, yeah, curvy tail fin. All right. Oh, and I like adding details, so I'm going to add those in. I told you we were coming up with a new species of fish. I don't think I've ever seen a fish that looked quite like this. Have you? Some other details I might decide to add to my fish's body are gills, so it can breathe, and little scales. Now, your fish does not have to have scales. I just think I want to add those to mine because I like having lots of details. All right, I have finished drawing my fish, and now I'm going to go ahead and work on the background. Remember, the background is whatever is behind your fish. Since my fish lives in the ocean, I'm going to draw sand on the bottom of my picture. So I'm going to draw a line for my sand. I'm going to start adding little dots. We love those details, huh? Maybe there's a sea snail. You can get really crazy with your background. You can add whatever you want. Your artwork, you are the artist. And you, whatever you decide to do, are going to make something beautiful. I'm going to add some seaweed. I said that my fish ate plants. It is an herbivore. There's some seaweed for the fish. I love me a good jellyfish, so I'm going to add a jellyfish over here. And, oh, I want my jellyfish to have eyes. And maybe my fish has some bubbles around it. All right, there we go. There she blows. All right, so the next thing I like to do is add color. When I color, I try to take my time and go very slowly. I like to fill up my entire page with color. I'm going to speed this next section up so that you don't have to sit for 30 minutes while I color it, and then we'll come back together at the end. See where I accidentally messed up? No big deal. If you kind of go over part of it in your coloring, that's okay. Those little accidents make your drawing more unique and interesting. So if you accidentally go out of the lines, just feel like you're being even more artistic and creative. Voila! All right, so I have finished my shoefish drawing. You can see here, I have created a fish that has details on it. It's got a dorsal fin, a tail fin, pectoral fins. I've added gills, scales, eyes, and a mouth. So those are the details, the small things that I added to my fish to make it more interesting. And then I have created a background for my fish. Remember, the background is what is behind your main focus point. In my background, I've added water because my fish lives underwater. I've added sand with little dots to make more texture. I've added some seaweed and little creatures to go with my fishy. That's it for today. I hope you guys have an awesome time creating your shoe fish. Ta-ta for now.